Subject to credit approval and program qualifications. Federally insured by the NCUA.
If you have a big vaulted ceiling in your living room, how long have you had your current ceiling fan? Probably longer than you want to admit. It's a daunting task to think about replacing something 15 to 20 feet in the air. At Centerpoint Electric, we're here to help with any electrical problem you have, big or small. We'll install the new ceiling fan, and you can have a clean, modern look without any of the nervous work at the top of a ladder. Check us out online at centerpoint-electric.com. We're wired for excellence.
So I'm pregnant and I'm excited, but wow, there's so much to think about. Prenatal, delivery, breastfeeding.
That's exactly how I felt with my first and why I chose Pella Regional. Their family birthing center is amazing. Private suites, cozy recovery spaces, even a dedicated OR for C-sections if you need it. Plus, support before and after that makes you feel taken care of.
Wow, and that's all right here in South Central Iowa?
Yes, of course it's here. Pella Regional Health Center is truly unmatched. Explore for yourself at pellahealth.org/baby.
Hey everyone, it's Tegan Vanderwaal, Ork Ford Lincoln in Pella. The end of year brought a ton of fresh trade-ins and our pre-owned inventory is packed. We've got a great selection of pre-owned vehicles, trucks, SUVs, minivans, and cars, priced to fit any budget. You'll find a variety of makes, models, trims, and features. Plus, for extra peace of mind, our lifetime powertrain warranty is included on most vehicles 2021 and newer with under 100,000 miles. That's a difference you won't find everywhere. Backed by our award-winning customer service. At Ork Ford Lincoln, we're taking care of you.
Stay cozy this winter with Central Iowa Roofing. When snow and ice hit hard, protect your home with the strength and beauty of Owens Corning shingles. The experts at Central Iowa Roofing deliver reliable, winter-ready roofing built to last through the toughest Iowa weather. Don't wait for leaks or damage. Upgrade your roof now with trusted materials and professional installation. Central Iowa Roofing, quality, confidence, and comfort all season long. Call today and stay covered this winter.
Mama and Dad are going to love this. Pingle's Home Store has appliances now. Refrigerators, washers, dryers, everything for our house. And Pingle's still has the best stuff for kitchens, bathrooms, living rooms, and bedrooms, too. New appliances and the same great service. Awesome!
Now at Pingle's Home Store, top brand appliances, refrigerators, washers, dryers, and more. Pingle's Home Store is now your appliance headquarters, too.
Creative Landscaping in Knoxville is your one-stop shop for landscaping design. Their team can show you options for your lawn and will deliver when it comes to making your yard design dreams come true. If your lawn is looking shabby and needs work, let Creative Landscaping develop a plan that will have your yard lush and green and the envy of the neighborhood. Landscaping, lawn care, and even snow removal in the winter. Your complete landscaping comes from Creative Landscaping in Knoxville. Call them today.
Welcome back to the Scooters Coffee Radio postgame show. Scooters Coffee in Pella. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. As we wrap things up, Pella Christian girls basketball falls to Indianola 42-28. And we do quickly got to get to a Pingle's Home Store Instant Radio update before we talk about this one. That is Norwalk 73, Oskaloosa 24, a final score there in that one. So Norwalk, calling off the Dogs. That was 40-3 at halftime. Oskaloosa able to get to 24 in that one, but obviously Norwalk had that game well in hand there. Mike, as we look at our McKay Group Radio key play and player of the game, I think that the key play isn't even necessarily a play in tonight's game. I think it's just the key in this one is Pella Christian. Just it's been a revolving door at the guard position this season, right? And it's to no fault of the girls. It's no fault of anyone, really. It's just, unfortunately, the nature of how the draw has gone for Pella Christian this year with injuries, illnesses, you name it. You know, guard play has been a struggle. And so when I look at the key play, I think the key factor there and in terms of the play is just with the rotating door at guard, lead opened up to some turnovers tonight that Pella Christian just wasn't able to overcome.
I think defensively they did play, for 32 minutes, played good defense, but when you hand the ball off 26 times with turnovers, or 24 or whatever it was.
Yeah, 26.
I mean, it just puts you on your heels immediately, going the other direction, trying to defend and get back. And and surprised we didn't have more foul troubles than we did. So, yeah, so that just kind of defined the game, and some of that certainly is related to the number of players that are in and out of the rotation. But I think there's some nice depth on this team and some quality players. Just as the game went on, we got wore down there in the second half, and those turnovers really hurt us.
Yeah, our key player tonight going to go to Ava Bream. She had 10 points to lead Pella Christian in scoring. It's not often this year that Rachel Kakmerinsky or Addie Van Herendonk have not been the leading scorers on the night. Ava Breams did a nice job in there, and she gets her nod as key player of the game.
Yeah, she had a great game tonight, so she gets the opportunity to play some more minutes, and she proved her worth and the ability to give us some scores. It's nice to see her stay out of foul trouble in the second half as well.
Absolutely. That leads us to tonight's final stats presented by the Verduft Agency. For Pella Christian, as we mentioned, Ava Breams with 10 points, Addie Van Herendonk with 9, Finley Snyder with 4, Elena Hertigan with 3, and then Rachel Kakmerinsky finishes with 2 this evening. For Indianola, their scoring breakdown looked as such. It was 9 points for Lauren Olson, 12 for Julia McGraw, 10 for Eden Whitson, 3 for Alexa Geyer, 2 for Amelia Paw, 4 for Leah Graham, 2 for Hadley Erickson, and that's the scoring breakdown. That's tonight's final stats. Presented by the Verduft Agency. Let Chad Lancer and Larry examine your stats and customize an insurance plan for you. The Verduft Agency providing complete courteous service to the Pella area for nearly 100 years. And as we go in closing on the girls' game here, Mike, presented by Knighton State Bank, I think the big takeaway I have from this one is, Pella Christian, they're going to have to find some ways with the lineups, right? I mean, it feels like every night it's a new lineup. It's a new girl being asked to step up. But at the end of the day, Eagles going to have to find some ways to make offense a little bit easier. Right now, teams with the pressure, the full court pressure that is, with zone defenses, they're making offense too difficult for Pella Christian. So they're going to have to go back to the drawing board a little bit and try to find a way to make things a little bit easier on themselves.
Yeah, seasons are, an opportunity to build on what you're good at over the course of the entire season. And you get through that first third of the season and you can continue to make some adjustments. You should see some nice improvements off of that. You get through the second third, you'd like to see the same thing as you continue to build some chemistry and momentum, and the shots are starting to drop a little more. But when you lose players and then you lose more players and you lose more players, unfortunately, it's kind of the difference between where our boys team maybe is at trajectory-wise versus the girls team is while we're trying to work through some things on the girls side, the boys team's starting to get some chemistry with some some consistency of players playing together, and along with that comes some confidence, and so I'm confident the girls will settle back in again, but we gotta quit losing kids out of the rotation so that Coach Munn and the coaches can kind of settle in on what they're trying to do, and the girls can get a little more comfortable with each other.
Absolutely. That's in closing presented by Knighton State Bank. Grow strong with us. That'll do it for the Scooters Coffee Radio post-game show. Scooters Coffee and Pella. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Take a timeout. We'll be back with pregame of the boys contest, or potentially Coach Mum. If he makes his way up here, we'll talk to him in just a little bit. But we'll have either of those on the other side of this timeout when we return on KNIA-KRLS.com and on the Pella Christian YouTube channel.
Did you know that the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays can be a dangerous time of year for dogs?
This is Dr. Glenda Van Wyk at Van Wyk Veterinary Clinic. If your dog is vomiting, in pain, and or lethargic, these could be signs of pancreatitis. To avoid pancreatitis, always feed your dog a balanced diet and avoid high-fat foods like table scraps.
If your dog shows any of these signs, call Van Wyk Veterinary Clinic for treatment options right away.
Protect your pet's health at Van Wyk Veterinary Clinic.
Quality, compassion, family.
At Pella Corporation, we're building brighter futures for our customers, team members, and communities. We foster an inclusive culture where unique perspectives are valued and contribute to our success. With opportunities for innovation, collaboration, and growth, Pella is more than a workplace. It's a place to belong and thrive. Join us and let's build brighter futures together including your own. Because at Pella Corporation, we're building more than just windows and doors.
The new year often brings colder temperatures to Iowa, which means snow and ice. Even though we work hard to keep the lights on, sometimes Mother Nature has a plan in store. If your power goes out, please give us a call to let us know and then hang tight while we fix power lines. If there is a large storm, follow us on Facebook for power restoration updates. And remember to stay away from any down lines outside. Assume it's live and not safe. Looking out for you, we're Pella Cooperative Electric.
With our continuing coverage of Iowa high school athletics, we're joined now by head coach of the Pella Christian girls basketball team, John Mumm, powered by Hy-Vee following a 42-28 loss to Indianola. Coach Mumm, it's been a adversity-filled season, right? Your lineup, it feels like, is never able to just get consistent minutes together tonight, and just felt like offense tonight was a little bit harder because you're just constantly working through different variations of the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, we don't like to make excuses, Tyler. We just like to come out and play hard and give it our all and fight. And I was really proud of our effort tonight. You know, this is a ranked 5A team that we played tonight. Indianola is a really good 5A team. And so we talked about that, like, hey, we were right there. It was a 5-point game right there at the end of the third quarter. So for us to be dealing with what we're dealing with as far as the adversity goes, and to be able to hang that close with a ranked 5A school, like, I'm incredibly proud of our girls. And yeah, our shots weren't dropping, but we didn't hang our heads and we didn't quit. Yeah. So I was very, very proud of them.
Absolutely. And, you know, real quick, too, to speak to that, I think I mentioned this to Mike at halftime. You guys trailed 18-17 at the break, and it's like, I think if I would have told you that you would turn the ball over 11 times to their 5, Rachel Kek-Marinsky and Addie Van Arendonk would go into the break with a combined 4 points, and you're only trailing by 1 point, you would gladly take that. It just speaks to the way the girls have stepped up and, you know, been able to handle more added to their roles, especially a night like tonight where Ava Breams played a big factor in that, leading the team with 10 points overall.
Yeah, Ava played incredible, finishing around the hoop and rebounding and being that defensive presence down low. Addie Van Arendonk, I mean, she has just been remarkable all season long. Just so proud of Addie, how she plays so hard, rebounds so hard. And honestly, Tyler, like, everybody that got on the court tonight did some positive things again and played hard. And that's what we ask. We just want them to go as hard as they can when they're on the court and to represent our school, represent Christ, and that people recognize when they're going to watch Lady Eagle basketball, you know, they're going to see girls that are just absolutely fighting for each other and going as hard as they can when they're out there on the court.
Absolutely. And one thing that is really nice for this team is, you know, the season slows down just a little bit for you next week, right? You get a chance to maybe get some illnesses, get a few bumps and bruises and whatever else taken care of, because you don't play a game again until next Friday night for a homecoming against Oskaloosa. How important is this week going to be just for you guys to, one, get almost a full week of practice in, but also a full week to just get healthy again?
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be a really big week for us. We really are hoping to get Jessa DeVries back from the concussion. We're hoping to get Bryn Runner healthy from the pneumonia that she's been dealing with. And we've got Sophia Slogter that was out today dealing with, you know, a sinus infection or influenza A or something. So she was not here tonight. So, yeah, we've got, 3 starters that we need to get healthy. We need to get back in the lineup, and we'll get there. And hopefully it'll be next Friday night against Oskaloosa for homecoming. Really looking forward to that.
Absolutely, and I'm sure this is probably a first for you on this side of things in terms of homecoming during basketball season too.
Yes.
It's a really fun day here on Eagle Lane, just with all the festivities and stuff like that in the winter. But as a coach, how do you go about mentally preparing for that first time coaching a homecoming basketball game?
I love it. It's totally unique, and I absolutely love it. I had never heard of that before. When I was talking to my parents actually about it, that my mom grew up in Gilbert, and she was talking about when she was in high school way back in the day that they did homecoming for basketball as well because they didn't have a football program when she was in high school. So that was interesting to kind of hear some of that history. And yeah, I love it. Of course, I'm a basketball guy first. I love football too, but super excited about this upcoming week, homecoming festivities. And then, yeah, we're going to be ready to go Friday night against Oski. And hopefully this place will be packed out for our game as well as the boys' game.
Absolutely, and it's always a fun night. Coach Mumm, appreciate the time as always, and best of luck in getting the squad healthy going into next week.
Thank you, Tyler. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, that was John Mumm, head coach of the Pella Christian girls basketball team, powered by Hy-Vee, following a 42-28 loss to Indianola on Friday night. Go ahead and roll into pregame coverage of the boys contest here real quick, and we're going to fly through this as Coach Mumm makes his way back down. Game time temperature presented by Van Heften Plumbing and Heating. Let's see here. 23 degrees is your game time temperature presented by Van Heften Plumbing and Heating. If your home is staying comfortable during this cold Iowa winter, call on the heating and cooling experts at Van Heften Plumbing and Heating in Pella. You'll rest easy when you pick up the phone in here.
They're the veterinarians.
And let's look at our McKay Group Radio, or let's look at our colors of the game presented by Michelle Gritter's Lux Photography. So we get Mike Bouquet back in the booth with us. Indianola in the road. Yellow uniforms with the purple numbers, the purple trim, purple lettering, and then the white outline on the numbers in lettering. And that is Indianola's colors of the game. Pella Christian in the home. White uniforms with the maroon numbers, the yellow letters, maroon outline on the letters, the gold outline on the numbers, and then the maroon piping down the side. That's the colors of the game presented by Michelle Gritter's Lux Photography, where your story becomes a masterpiece. Mike, your McKay Group Radio keys to the game for the boys contest tonight.
It's the other night, Indianola started a little slow at Pella, then came on strong, took a lead in that game before Pella finished them off. So it's a good team, but, everything goes through this junior Blake and McGraw, both juniors on this team. Especially when you got somebody like Gilbert Flagel in the paint. They're going to want to play hard on both ends of the court to see who can lead the conference in scoring. But Pella Christian's playing very good as of late. They've got a pretty short rotation, but Coach Steinkamp's got these guys dialed in right now, so playing on the home court should be a awesome game to watch.
That it should be. That's our McKay Group Radio keys to the game. Auto, home, business, commercial, life, and health insurance covering you in Knoxville and Oskaloosa. Your starting line is presented by Pella Real Estate Services. For Indianola, it's going to be 6'6" junior guard or forward, number 11 Easton McGraw, 6'4" guard, a junior number 1 George Blake, a 6'1" senior guard number 2 Bryant Ritchie, a 6'2" senior forward number 3 Jacob Graham, and a 6'4" junior guard number 5 Thomas DeWall. For Pella Christian, starting lineup will look like this: 6'3" sophomore guard number 3 Trey Steinkamp, 6'7" senior forward number 4 Gilbert Flagel, 6'7" senior forward number 22 Devin Runner, 6'1" senior guard number 13 Garrett Wheelard, and 6'3" senior guard number 15 Ben Van Weingarten. That's your starting lineup. It's presented by Pella Real Estate Services, a full-service brokerage of the lineup that includes residential and commercial real estate acreages, property management, storage facilities, and short and long-term rental options. Call 628-1BUY for Pella Real Estate Services. Opening tip presented by Dutch Mill Supply coming up here. Inside the Element Siding and Windows radio broadcast booth, Tyler Crabb, Mike Bouquet with you for all of tonight's action between Pella Christian and Indianola. And the opening tip presented by Dutch Mill Supply is in the air, and Easton McGraw will tip that back to Jacob Graham. And Indianola starts out with the basketball. Easton McGraw setting up the offense for the Indians here against Gilbert Flagel.
Not a big student crowd here from the Indianola side, so.
Yeah, Easton McGraw was the intended target of a pass there, intercepted by the Eagles. And that'll be how they start offensively, or start out defensively, I should say. Is Ben Van Weingarten with the basketball. We'll find Trey Steinkamp. Ball will swing to the left wing for Garrett Wheeler now. They're looking inside for Flagel as Devin Runner will find him this time. Defended by Blake. Kicks it out. Garrett Wheeler, right wing, 3! Oh. Nothing but net for Garrett Wheeler to start off the contest.
That was an NBA length 3 by Wheeler. Nice stroke.
And just as the Eagles drew up the opening possession, 3-0 lead for the Eagles to start.
Those that don't remember, Wheeler rolled his ankle last game,
Monday night at Knoxville.
He looks pretty good here coming back off of that. So that was a scare, a little bit of a scare. So it's good to have him back out there.
Yeah, Easton McGraw on the drive. His shot no good, as Indianola has not been able to get the offense going on the first two possessions. Trey Steinkamp over to runner. Now Ben Van Weingarten. He's going to set up the offense. He'll go back into the corner for runner. They're looking into the post for Flagel. Now Steinkamp baseline drive. Van Weingarten, great ball movement here by the Eagles. Now they're going to find it inside for Flagel.
Traveled.
And just didn't get the shot up before taking that extra step, so it's the Eagles' first turnover.
Oh, man, that was good ball movement, and Flagel had one-on-one on that low block, so looked like we were going to get our 5th point, but turnover instead.
Pingles Homestar Instant Radio update. Final in girls basketball. DCG 76, Pella 48. As on the Indianola possession, Easton McGraw attacks Gilbert Flagel and goes up and over the top of him. And Indianola's on the board. 3-2. Pella Christian leads Indianola with 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. And then also to Pingles Homestar Instant Radio update. Knoxville trailing Clark 52-18 as Pella Christian turns the ball over. Indianola out in transition. Easton McGraw goes to the basket and takes advantage of the Eagles' mistake. He's got all 4 for Indianola as they take the lead 4-3 with 5:40 to go in the first frame. Garrett Wheeler with the ball. He'll give it up to Devin Runner. Now Steinkamp, left wing 3, and Trey Steinkamp knocks down the triple. Eagles 2 for 2 from deep.
I was going to say last possession, Steinkamp's got to get the shots off a little bit earlier in this game. Last game he was a little slow to start, never got it going.
Yeah, George Blake working on Ben Van Weingarten, and a tough take by George Blake up and over the top of Van Weingarten. Knots things back up 6-6 with 5:09 to go in the first. Garrett Wheeler over to Ben Van Weingarten. They're looking still in the post for Flagel. Steinkamp looking to drive baseline. Able to feed it, corner. Garrett Wheeler for 3. That one's strong, rebounded by McGraw. And McGraw attacks Flagel, kicks it out. 3 from the wing is off the mark by number 2, Bryant Ritchie. And another Pingles Homestar Instant Radio update. Clark goes final on Knoxville, 60-26. That's a Pingles Homestar Instant Radio update. Van Weingarten will give it to Steinkamp to Wheeler. He was looking inside for Flagel, but nothing there. The Eagles swinging the ball around. Wheeler to Runner. Now Steinkamp with 6 on the shot clock. And Steinkamp traveled. Third Eagles turnover. As Griffin Stoltz comes into the game for Runner.
Coach Steinkamp's dialed up tonight. He wants a great game, and several things here going he doesn't like early, so he's chirping.
Yeah, I think the offense has looked a little stagnant as Ben Van Weingarten has whistled for the block there with George Blake going to the baseline. So that's Ben's first foul of the game, either way. Marion County Bank Radio scoreboard. Finals in girls basketball. Indianola defeats Pella Christian 42-28. Pella falls to Dallas Center Grimes 76-48. Norwalk defeats Oskaloosa 73-24, and Knoxville falls to Oskaloosa 60-26. That's the Marion County Bank Radio scoreboard. Marion County's financial leaders, Marion County Bank with us is a Melcher, not Pella, Knoxville, Melcher, Dallas. They're serving you and building community across the county. 3-pointer, I think, was off the mark by Ritchie again. And Van Weingarten with the basketball on the other end for Pella Christian as Stoltz goes to the corner for Wheeler. Wheeler up top for Steinkamp. Steinkamp looking to drive and kicks it back out. Stoltz on the right wing. The Eagles are trying to get it into Flagel. Left wing 3 for Steinkamp. It's online, but McGraw down with the board. So the Eagles 2-of-4 from the field, but it's been just Wheeler and Steinkamp threes. not been able to get the ball inside. McGraw, he'll try a three from the right wing, and that's no good. Van Weingarten the other way. He thought about the three. Gives it back up to Steinkamp. Stoltz to Van Weingarten, but McGraw doing a nice job to deny the pass to Flagel. Stoltz able to get it inside for Flagel. And Flagel to the basket. No good on the shot, but Jacob Graham will commit the first foul of the game on Indianola. 6-6 Penley Christian and Indianola tied, 2:32 to go in the first quarter. Casey Mister presented by the veterinarians at Tri-County Veterinary Clinic. The Eagles knocked down their first 2 threes, but have missed their last 2, and Flagel off the mark on the free throws. They are in the tie game. Again, that's a Casey Mister presented by the veterinarians at Tri-County Veterinary Clinic in Pella.
They're the veterinarians.
Substitutions are Wesley Naylor and Jackson Faust into the game for Indianola. And Flagel knocks down the free throw, the second free throw. So his trend continues as runner into the game. He's now been to the free throw line 6 times this week, and he has missed the front end of every single free throw attempt, or every single free throw set, and made the second one on every single one.
The trend has to change.
Yes. And Penla Christian nearly forces the turnover as the ball finally.
Good hustle there by PC to get that ball. Coach Steinkamp really wanting to see us get this ball inside. Wants the boys to move the ball quickly and get some touches in the paint by Flagel, and now we'll see if they do the same thing with Runner in the game.
Yeah, to say, this one doesn't feel like it's quite as concerted an effort. Stoltz over to the right wing for Runner.
Flagel not going to stay out long here.
Yeah, to Steinkamp. He'll drive to the basket to Runner underneath. Runner going to power up his shot just off the mark.
Good take, just didn't finish.
Yep, now George Blake in transition, working against Stoltz. Tough shot for Blake is no good. Stoltz able to secure the rebound.
Stoltz just a little timid there defensively, just got to be strong. But either way, the shot didn't drop.
That's the good news. Steinkamp on the right wing.
Oh,
Wheeler
nice shot
drives in, finds Van Weingarten. Maybe just one pass too much.
He was so in close, he just needed to go up. Coach Steinkamp just showing him, just shoot it, take it, trust you. Still 7-6, so.
Yeah, Flagel came into the game for Steinkamp.
You can only tamp down this Indianola offense for so long, so.
Yeah, Blake went inside for Thomas DeWall, and a big rejection by Devin Runner.
We got some good length there with Runner and Flagel, so.
Ball to Jackson Faust. He'll get into the lane. Eagles tried to pick the pocket from behind, didn't do it successfully. Indianola scores and takes an 8-7 lead with 20 seconds to go in the first quarter.
All right, last shot here with 18 seconds. Chance for Pella Christian to lead after 1 quarter, down 1.
Yeah, Flagel off the screen of Runner. Kicks to Wheelard. Back to Flagel.
7 seconds.
Flagel rises up for the right wing 3, no good. Rebounded by DeWall. DeWall heaves it at the buzzer, no good. So Pella Christian trailing after a frame, 8-7. Indianola on top after 1. Back after this on KNIA, KRLS.com, and on the Pella Christian YouTube channel.
Winter's here, but your roof still needs the best. At Dutch Mill Supply, they offer top quality CertainTeed shingles to keep your home protected all season long. Durable, reliable, and designed for winter weather, CertainTeed shingles ensure your roof stands strong against snow, ice, and wind.
Dutch Mill Supply, located in Pella, is your only locally owned, one-stop, full-service lumberyard and building material supplier. My name is Joshua Payne. My staff and I are here daily for professional service from the guy next door.
Welcome back here on KNIA, KRLS.com, and on the Pella Christian YouTube channel. Game reset wired by Center Point Electric. Start of the second quarter. Pella Christian trails Indianola 8-7. And Pella Christian just really felt like kind of stagnant on the offensive end. Not necessarily in terms of the ball movement. It just felt like moving in general. They were trying to get it inside to Flagel. And Indianola did a nice job of taking that away. It just felt like the Eagles maybe just needed to move a little bit more offensively and start to get that defense moving to maybe free up Flagel inside.
Now, there's certain style of play here that Coach Steinkamp's trying to get the boys to make happen on the floor, and it just hasn't played out very efficiently so far this first quarter.
Yeah, ball finds its way into the hands of Flagel in the post here to start off the second quarter. He missed the first shot, got his own miss, and cannot convert, but he gets fouled by...
We need to go check to see what's on that rim. It's not dropping for us. Those guys are in close, and they're just rolling off the rim left and right.
Yeah, foul one on George Blake, his first. Hey!
Flagel hits the first. All you got to do is talk about it.
I was gonna say, I've been trying that reverse, the announcer's jinx or whatever it is for like all week. It hadn't worked to this point.
We'll take it. Oh, and he misses
he just reversed it.
Oh my goodness.
He just reversed the trend.
We thought that one was a lock.
Oh, tough
all right,
break.
Next time.
Yeah, Easton McGraw with the basketball. Flagel going 1 of 2 at the line. Ties things up at 8-8. Jacob Graham going to come back into the game here for Thomas DeWall.
We haven't said Ben Van Weingarten's name a whole lot, but he's got a tall order signed to Blake tonight, but he's getting leading scorer about every night.
Yeah, and then on the inbounds pass, Easton McGraw will get the spin move and get by Flagel and lay it in. 10-8, Pella Christian trails Indianola with 7:13 to go in the second quarter. Griffin Stoltz with the basketball on the left wing. Ben Van Weingarten to Trey Steinkamp. They're trying to get it inside for Flagel, but nothing there. 13 on the shot clock as Steinkamp will go to Runner. Indians defense doing a nice job of collapsing and taking away Flagel in the post. 2 on the shot clock, and Griffin Stoltz is the lone Eagle to recognize it and able to get the shot to hit the rim. No good, but they say the rebound poked out of bounds by Pella Christian.
All right, Indianola's coach is recognizing how hard they're trying to play it through Flagel or Runner inside, and so far they've been able to create problems for us.
Ball finds its way over to Jackson Faust, who will knock down the left corner 3. And Faust with 5 quick ones.
Well, he's had that mid-range jumper, and then he popped the 3, which is better than his season average.
And then Runner going to try a 3, no good. And Griffin Stoltz got the offensive board, couldn't connect on the layup. And now Flagel to the basket, and Flagel able to get that one to drop.
We needed that basket. Just too many lost chances.
Yeah, it's 13-10. Indianola leading Pella Christian with 5:57 to go in the second quarter. Ball goes to Blake. Now it's Faust. Over to Jacob Graham, and Jacob Graham responds with a 3, and it's 16-10. Indianola leading Pella Christian with 5:43 to go in the second quarter.
Well, once 2 guys that have 4 points average per game or launch 3s back-to-back and score 2 big buckets for Indianola.
Yeah, Trey Steinkamp working on the baseline. Out to Van Weingarten, now Flagel. Flagel gets McGraw moving with the jab step, but Flagel unable to connect from long range as Blake gets bumped by Van Weingarten. It's his second.
That hurts. Gonna have to get him out of the game, so that's a loss here defensively with 2 of their big guns. Now both of their big guys can operate without Van Weingarten on the court to help us.
Yeah, Stoltz going to be tasked with guarding Blake now. He did a good job when he got asked to guard Maxtown against Des Moines Christian and fill in when Van Weingarten got in foul trouble there.
Very good point.
See if he can do that again.
Yep.
Easton McGraw working against Flagel. Kicks it out. Jackson Faust, 3 from the left wing, and Faust knocks down another one. And we are going to get a Pella Motors timeout here from Joe Steinkamp. I was just going to suggest that we might. As
well, Faust got 8 solid points there. The last 3 shots he's dropped in.
Yeah, that's a Pella Motors timeout. A Pella Motors, you'll drive away happy. That's the Pella Motors guarantee. And it's our urgent situation presented by Pella Regional Health Center. Eagles struggling here in the second quarter against Indianola, who's shooting it lights out from behind the arc. They've knocked down all 3 of their attempts this quarter. 2 of them from Faust, 1 from Jacob Graham. And Pella Christian just needs an answer here. And that's our urgent situation presented by Pella Regional Health Center. If you need urgent health care today, be seen today at Pella Regional's walk-in clinics in Pella, Knoxville, or Ottumwa. Visit PellaHealth.org for hours and wait times. And we look at the Marion County Bank radio scoreboard. No boys scores in yet outside of our game. So girls scores, Pella Christian falling to Indianola 28-42. Pella falling to Dallas Center Grimes 48-76. Norwalk defeats Oskaloosa 73-24. Knoxville falls to Clark 60-26. It's the Marion County Bank radio scoreboard.
Feels like the scoring's got to come from somebody else besides Flagel at this point. Steinkamp hit that 1-3, but I think it's the only shot he's taken.
He missed one other 3, and that's it.
There we go.
And Garrett Wheeler there on cue goes to the basket and lays it in.
Yeah, nice strong move. And he just keeps getting stronger and stronger as the season goes on.
Yeah, and a miscommunication there between McGraw and Jacob Graham leads to McGraw tossing the ball out of bounds, so Pella Christian forces the turnover. And out of the Pella Motors timeout, the Eagles finding some success. Trey Steinkamp over to Garrett Wheeler. They're going to Wheeler on the drive. Left wing 3 for Runner. And he left it short, tried to save it, but he threw it in right to a Indianola player. And McGraw working to drive. Ball poked, and now a foul whistled on the Eagles. It's going to be the second on the team, and it's on Steinkamp, his first.
Yeah, I think he was waiting for another official to make that call and came from the opposite side of the court. A little late.
I was kind of thinking the same thing. Inbound goes to Faust, now McGraw. Up top to Graham, and now Blake in the post working against Stoltz. Tough take there for Blake. Didn't get the first shot to go, but got his own miss. And then whistled for the foul is Flagel. His first. So Blake missing that first attempt, gets his own miss though, and makes the Eagles pay as he is starting to put Indianola up by double digits here with 3:56 to go in the second quarter.
That was a strong move by Blake.
Can't make the free throw though, so lead remains single digits, 21-12. Indianola leads Pella Christian, 3:50 to go in the second quarter, and a game reset wired by Centerpoint Electric, where they're wired for excellence. Garrett Wheeler with the basketball, gives it up to Devin Runner up top. Ball swings to Stoltz. Into the post for Flagel. Flagel, baseline spin, through the contact, no, but Flagel gets his own miss and puts it up and in. 21-14, Pella Christian trails by a touchdown here with 3:25 to go in the second quarter.
We got a battle. This is 3 big minutes here. Close this gap. We got to get some stops.
Yeah, Wesley Naylor gets a wide open look from 3 and makes the Eagles pay for the wide open look. It makes it 24-14.
Another 2 points per game guy hitting a 3. We got 3 guys in less than 5 points a game have hit key 3s here in the last 4 minutes.
Yeah, Steinkamp goes to the basket. Tough finish for Trey Steinkamp. He's up to 5 points as the Eagles deficit now 24-16 with 2:50 to go in the second quarter.
Need more of that out of Trey. That was a nice take to the rim.
Yeah, George Blake gets into the middle of the lane and puts the runner up and in.
Not sure how long we can leave Ben on the bench.
Yeah, Eagles gonna need some quick buckets here. Some quick stops, get this thing under at 10 mark. Trey Steinkamp, right wing 3, and that one rattles home. Big bucket there for Trey Steinkamp. Another Pella Motors timeout taken by Joe Steinkamp here. I have to imagine this is a defensive timeout. Just obviously the offensive end makes a little spark out of the last timeout you took. but the defense has kind of suffered here. So I imagine this time out is to just kind of talk through that defense, find some way to slow Indianola down.
Yeah, I think there was a specific conversation there with Runner and Flagel, both the two bigs. So I think they're recognizing that we gotta stop that strength in the paint that they've got, but at the same time they're hitting it from the perimeter as well. So it's coming from different directions.
Yeah, the three by Trey Steinkamp going to be tonight's Randall Roofing Raise the Roof moment of the game. When the moment arises and it's time for a new roof, think Randall Roofing. Case is presented by the veterinarians at Tri-County Veterinary Clinic in Pella. Eagles needing to get some stops here as Indianola is finding just about anything they want as Easton McGraw misses a three-pointer, thankfully, but that is in case you missed it, presented by the veterinarians at Tri-County Veterinary Clinic in Pella.
They're the veterinarians.
Steinkamp over the top for Flagel, through the contact, no good. And George Blake down with the board. Ball to McGraw.
Nothing in the paint.
Steinkamp slipped for a moment. The wall to the basket. First shot no good. Second shot no good. And now Stoltz is down with the board.
Two good stops there. Just got to trim it to 5 here on the offensive end.
Yeah, Steinkamp baseline take, but he throws it up there too strong.
Contested just under a lot of strength there to go up, and then just goes too strong.
George Blake to the basket, and they say a foul on the ground. This is going to go on Trey. That's going to be his second. Team's fourth of the quarter, excuse me. And this is something we haven't seen all week. The 7th guy off the bench, Levi Franzman, stepping up into a role with Caleb Volk out with injury.
Just on the defensive end here, just trying to prevent any of the starters to be.
Easton McGraw to the basket, count it, and the foul on Devin Runner, which is his first. Team's 5th. McGraw got by Runner, hit him on the arm.
Gotta be careful here in the last minute and a half. He's got 2 of the starters on the bench.
Yeah, with 2 fouls. McGraw's free throw is good. So Indianola puts themselves back up by 10, 29-19, as it's Flagel with the basketball. Working against George Blake. Great spin move to the basket. Flagel can't get it to drop, but he's fouled.
Those and ones are not dropping for us.
No, they are not. He's fouled by Faust. Second foul on Indianola in the quarter. First on Faust. And Flagel to the line.
All right, these are 2 big ones here. Get it back to 8.
Makes the first one. And misses the second one.
A new trend has started.
Yeah, Dave just decided he was going to flip that trend all the way around. Ball goes inside for Easton McGraw. Working against Garrett Wheeler as the double team comes. McGraw just tosses it up there. Way too strong, no good.
McGraw had room to take it to the rim, and he didn't. And then Wheeler stepped in and played great defense.
Yeah, Flagel over to Stoltz now. Into the corner, the ball goes to Wheeler. Wheeler dribbles it back up, gives it to Flagel. Now back to Stoltz. Stoltz looking to drive. Goes back to Wheeler. Back to Flagel. Jab step into the lane. Tough fadeaway shot, in and out. Just no love from the rim right now for the Eagles.
All right, we got to keep this single digits.
Yeah, George Blake gonna hold for the final shot. Indianola setting up the 2-man game with McGraw and Blake. McGraw, right wing 3. That one was halfway down, no good. Devin Runner down with the board.
Dodged a bullet there. Kept it at 9.
Yeah, that you did. Pella Christian trails Indianola 29-20 at the break. Back after this on 92.1 or on KNIA, KRLS.com, and on the Pella Christian YouTube channel.
Hi, this is Levi Spain with Spain Painting in Pella, and I'm in the process of putting together our team for 2026. We have a lot of work on the books for the spring, summer, and fall. and I'm looking for good people who want to work hard and take pride in what they do. We have high standards at Spain Painting, and our customers expect high-quality results. If that's you, I'd love to talk to you about joining our team. Visit spain-painting.com and find my info on the contact page. Spain Painting in Pella. Experience, quality, results.
Ben Hampton.
Hi, I think our furnace went out. It's freezing in our house. I'm not even sure what kind of furnace we have, but I really need you to come fix it.
Okay, don't worry, ma'am. We'll send one of the big trucks.
Van Haften Plumbing and Heating's fleet of big trucks rolling around the Marion County area don't just look cool. These big trucks are well stocked with extra parts and supplies to get the job done quicker so that your house can warm up quicker. It's another reason you'll rest easy when you pick up the phone and hear
Van Haften.
Knoxville Hospital and Clinics shares that according to national health data, arthritis affects more than 50 million adults in the United States. Rheumatology is a medical specialty that focuses on joint pain, inflammation, and autoimmune conditions that can affect the muscles and connective tissues. It also examines patterns of swelling, stiffness, and immune activity that may contribute to long-term joint concerns. This information is provided as part of Knoxville Hospital and Clinic's general health education efforts. More information is available at knoxvillehospital.org.
At Element Siding and Windows, we do it right the first time. Hi, I'm Andrew Thomason, owner of Element. We're locally owned and proud to have the same dedicated team on every project, the same faces you'll see from start to finish, no random subcontractors. We don't leave your project until it is complete and you are completely satisfied. Your details and your budget matter to us, and we'll work with you to bring your vision to life. You have a dream, we'll make it happen. Find us on Facebook at Element Siding and Windows.
A warning to moms of class of 27 senior boys. They aren't going to be thrilled when you ask about senior pictures. Common responses are, ugh, fine, whatever. I know, I'm one of those moms myself. I'm Michelle Gritters with Lux Photography, and my senior photo sessions are different. They're easy and relaxed, and I seem to have a knack for bringing out real smiles, even in the grumpiest of teens. And the best part is that it ends up being a really special day for you and your son. So if you've got a class of 27 senior boys, schedule a session at michellegritters.com. Most guys end up actually enjoying it.
You gave your kids a new puppy or kitten for Christmas. Let's make sure we take care of him. This is Dr. Tim Yoder with Tri-County Veterinary Clinic in Pella, and we have a new puppy and kitten program that provides the attention they need. It involves physical exams, vaccinations, diets, and most importantly, information for you so that you can provide the best care for your new family member. Schedule your new puppy or kitten visit by calling Tri-County Veterinary Clinic in Pella.
They're the veterinarians.
Yes, we are. We're the veterinarians.
They take care of pets because they love them.
Local is our heartbeat. Since 1935, Marion County Bank has backed local businesses with real relationships and real solutions. We've helped our neighbors buy their first or forever homes and delivered practical banking options that fit your story every step of the way. We invite you to celebrate local and bank local. Come see us today. Marion County Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Hi, this is Allie, owner of Thistle's Flower Market. Whether you're planning a wedding, hosting an event, or looking to brighten someone's day, let us help you make it unforgettable. From stunning wedding florals to everyday gift deliveries, we're here to bring joy and beauty to your special moments. Located in downtown Pella, Thistle's has been serving our community for almost 40 years. Thistle's Flower Market, making every moment unforgettable.
If you've been holding out on starting the search for your next home, your patience might have just paid off. Hi, this is John Holterhouse with Pella Real Estate Services, and right now is a great time to buy. We're seeing increased inventory in all price ranges, and interest rates are becoming more favorable. Schedule a buyer consultation so that we can start looking for your next home by calling 628-1-BUY and visiting with me or any member of our team at Pella Real Estate Services.
Masters of metal, forces of the forge, artists of the art, titans with the torch. Vermeer is hiring weld warriors, and they want you. It takes all skill types to build Vermeer iron. Bring your strength. Bring your spark. Join a team that builds tough equipment and backs each other up. Second and third shift welding positions are open now. Come where the sparks fly. Visit VermeerJobs.com or text 641-900-6178.
Hi, this is Mike at Langstrad Auto Body. Winter's finally here, and along with it comes the inevitable.
That's right, you've heard this before. Along with basketball and wrestling, we get bumper cars, car hockey, and even a little unwanted ditch riding. Accidents happen. At Langstrad Auto Body, we pride ourselves on getting your car in and out quickly and doing a quality repair. Our 100% satisfaction guarantee goes out the door with every vehicle. If your car is in need of some attention, come out and see us at Langstrad Auto Body. You'll be glad you did. Langstrad Auto Body, where you don't have to look for a quality repair.
If you're hardworking, dependable, and have construction or electrical experience, DeYoung Door Service in Pella is looking for you. But they know that you're hard to find, and your skills are desirable and valuable. That's why for the right person with the right skills, they'll start you off at $25 an hour, plus a weekly stipend for health insurance. If we're talking to you, and you'd like to be trained by the best to become one of the gurus, call DeYoung Door Service at 628-8736.
Hi, this is Kurt DeYoung. We're the gurus of garage doors, DeYoung Door Service in Pella.
When you eat at Culver's, you're enjoying fresh food, not just fast food. I'm Tim Grotenheis, owner of Culver's Restaurant in Pella, and we pride ourselves on making your order fresh every time. Our never frozen burgers are made fresh just the way you want it. Our chicken sandwiches and chicken strips are made fresh. We don't make them ahead of time and let them sit under a warmer. And we slow turn our frozen custard in small batches all day so it's at its very best. What can we make fresh for you today at Culver's Restaurant in Pella?
Welcome back here on KNIA, KRLS.com. It's the Central Tire and Auto Radio halftime show. For tires, front end work, their no appointment oil change, and full mechanical work on your vehicle, stop and see Sean DeWard and his crew next to Walmart in Pella. And here at halftime of the boys' game, we go to our second half adjustments right off the bat. One adjustment is whoever was saying mean things to the rim in the first half needs to go apologize so that we maybe buy one of these buckets. The rim was not our friend there in half number one. And then the other thing, too, is just defensively, got to find a way to slow down Blake and McGraw. I mean, I think the Eagles have tried with their defensive stoppers, but right now Blake and McGraw are making things very difficult inside, able to kick it out to some guys. And those are the big things the Eagles have to adjust here in the second half.
Yeah, a little favorability at the rim. We'd like to see Indianola struggle with that same rim in the second half, but I'm guessing we're just going to have to play some good fundamental ball on both ends of the court. Just couldn't quite get, we had little spits and spats of offensive rhythm, but just quite couldn't get it going. So hopefully we see us come out here in the third quarter and get this game even so we can play with a little bit different style of play down the stretch.
Absolutely, and looking at that's our second half adjustments presented by the Gurus of Garage Doors. If it's time for a new garage door for your home or business, stop and see the Gurus of Garage Doors at their showroom at 908 Roosevelt Road, just west of Pella Christian High School. That is DeYoung Door Service. Inside the Numbers delivered by Pella Fiber, where every home gets a gig. For Pella Christian here in this one, Gilbert Flagel with 7 points. Devin Runner held scoreless. Trey Steinkamp with 8. Garrett Wheelard with 5. Ben Van Weidengarten did not attempt the shot. Griffin Stoltz held scoreless as well. And then Levi Franzman played just a couple seconds, or just about a minute of that second half, or second quarter with Trey Steinkamp getting into foul trouble. For Indianola, 9 points for Easton McGraw, 6 for George Blake, 8 for Jackson Faust, 3 for each of Jacob Graham and Wesley Naylor. Thomas DeWall and Bryant Ritchie held scoreless there in half number one. That's Inside the Numbers delivered by Pella Fiber, where every home gets a gig. Join today at PellaFiber.com. And that'll wrap up the Central Tire and Auto Radio halftime show. For tires, front end work, there are no appointment oil change and full mechanical work on your vehicle. Stop and see Sean DeWard and his crew next to Walmart in Pella. And here at the intermission of Pella Christian and Indianola boys basketball, we're getting ready to return to play in the second half here. And time to do a quick Pingles Home Store instant radio update here inside the Element Siding and Windows radio broadcast booth. Pella and Dallas Center Grimes tied at 8 at the end of the first quarter. Norwalk and Dallas Center Grimes, Norwalk versus Oskaloosa. It's Norwalk 16, Oskaloosa 10 in boys basketball. No score from Knoxville and Clark yet. Our score 29-20 to start the second half. That is a look at the Marion County Bank radio scoreboard as well. In case you missed it, presented by the Petronarians at Tri-County Veterinary Clinic. Eagles could not get anything going really offensively. Just 3 guys in the score column right now out of the 6-7, if you want to include the minute that Levi played that got in there. Eagles going to have to find a way to get offensively. That's in case you missed it, presented by the Petronarians at Tri-County Veterinary Clinic.
They're the Petronarians.
Well, Steinkamp, I think, was 3 for 4. He's got 8 points and leads the team in scoring. I don't know if he didn't take a whole lot of shots, so it might be an opportunity here for him to let the trigger, pull the trigger a few more times.
Yeah, Blake takes up a tough shot against Gilbert Flagel. Flagel gets the block, and Steinkamp will set up Pella Christian offensively. Runner going to give it to Flagel. Flagel looking to drive on McGraw. Tough take to the basket, and Flagel able to knock that one down.
That's the kind of shot that wasn't dropping the first half, so we'll take that.
Absolutely right. Ball going to swing to George Blake in the post, working against Flagel. Tough take to the basket for Blake, no good. Tips the board.
We love that rim on that end. Now that it's in our favor, it's bubbling and rolling off.
Yeah, Devin Runner with the basketball to Flagel. Now Steinkamp. Steinkamp thought about the 3 for a moment.
Let it fly, young man. All the way, skip.
Yeah, Van Weingarten kicks. Baseline drive for Steinkamp. Tough fadeaway shot for Trey Steinkamp, knocks it down.
Keep shooting.
Talk about who's always open, presented by Anytime Fitness. Trey Steinkamp only missed 1 shot so far. He's got 10 points, and Pella Christian with a quick 4-0 burst and leads to a Pella Motors timeout.
Indianola worked hard for that 9-point lead. Coach for Indianola just doesn't want to see it all given back here in the first couple minutes of the third quarter, but so far so good here for the Eagles.
That's Coach Jeff Ebling for Indianola calling the Pella Motors timeout. Game reset wired by Centerpoint Electric. 6.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Pella Christian trailing Indianola 29-24, but a 4-0 burst for the Eagles has them pulled back within 5. And then we've mentioned Trey Steinkamp's Who's Always Open, presented by Anytime Fitness, a 24/7 gym that fits your lifestyle, your fitness, your way. Anytime Fitness. You're listening to Pella Christian Basketball, powered by Bank Iowa on the KRLS2 stream at KNIA, KRLS.com, Knoxville, Pella Newton, and KRLS HD2, Knoxville, Pella Newton. Everyone has a goal and inspiration, a reason for being. Whatever that is for you, Bank Iowa says,
let's make it happen.
Here out of the Pella Motors timeout, George Blake trying to get the ball to Easton McGraw, and Ben Van Weingarten forces the turnover.
Just 3 times there.
And Van Weingarten going to pay it off with a 3-pointer on the other end. Eagles back within 2, 29-27.
There's the Ben Van Weingarten we like to see. Little offense, too.
Yeah, on the other end, Indianola finally puts it into a 7-0 Pella Christian run to start off the second half with a Bryant Ritchie 2-pointer from the right elbow. Takes it 31-27 Indianola.
Oh, wow.
Devin Runner throwing it down low to Trey Steinkamp. Bryant Ritchie got stuck behind him trying to play catch-up and fouls Steinkamp.
Give Steinkamp credit. He's looking for that pass. There's times when he's running the offense where he makes that cut through and he's not even looking for a pass, but he's started this second half. Both times now he's looked for that pass going down through the lane.
Ben Van Weingarten finding Devin Runner on the inbounds pass for the right-handed finish on the left side. Pella Christian back down just 2, 31-29.
That's the most impressive offensive stretch we've had this whole game.
Yeah, Jackson Faust gave the ball to George Blake. Faust coming into the game for DeWall and immediately making an impact, knocking down a 3 from the left wing as George Blake was able to wrestle the ball back away before a jump ball was able to be drawn by Gilbert Flagel. Eagles still looking to get it into Flagel in the post here. Nothing there, though. Ball's going to swing to the left side for a runner. Back to Steinkamp. Steinkamp cross court, 3-pointer from Van Weingarten. Ben Van Weingarten.
Same side, same spot. Two in a row.
Two teams that pride themselves on defense finding themselves in a shootout here to start off the second half.
We quickly look like we've got some balanced scoring after the way Van Weingarten started. And
yeah, Bryant Ritchie tried to drive. Nothing there. Is Blake going to kick to McGraw now?
Need to stop.
Ritchie going to try the three, and Ritchie answers. We got a track meet now on the scoreboard.
Yeah, we just fortunate Indianola started a little bit slow there while we revved up the engine.
Yeah. It's 29-20 at halftime, now 37-32, midway through the third quarter. Penley Christian swinging the ball around. Runner inside for Flegel, but McGraw is there to take it away. That's the Eagles' first turnover since the first quarter and just their 5th overall. McGraw driving to the basket. And Wheelard is whistled for the block.
McGraw just really good and aggressive about getting to the rim.
Foul goes against Garrett Wheelard. His first, team's first. Wheelard trying to figure out from the official exactly what it was that he did that resulted in the foul. As Wesley Naylor comes into the game for Jacob Graham. Griffin Stoltz in for Devin Runner.
I've got a lot of respect for athletes that go over and chat with the officials, make sure they understand what they're calling and how they should play different so they can improve. So credit to Wheelard on that.
Yeah, second free throw no good for McGraw. Flegel down with the board, and Steinkamp sets up the Eagles offense on the other end. Wheelard on the left wing. Gives it up top. Flegel is wide open for three. Gilbert Flegel knocking down the triple, and the Eagles back within 3, 38-35, 3:44 to go in the third quarter.
Raining threes here once in the third quarter, both teams.
As we first half felt like couldn't get anything to go down. Now it feels like he can't get a stop. George Blake pulls up in the mid-range, and he knocks down another one. Like I said, offense hard to come by in the first half, and defense hard to come by in the second half.
Still crazy that Faust is leading him in scoring. 11 points on a 4.4 points per game.
Yeah, the Eagles have the ball knocked away out of bounds by Indianola as Thomas DeWall back into the game for Naylor. Bengals Home Store Instant Radio update. Norwalk 35, Oskaloosa 26 at halftime. There's Gilbert Flegel off of the screen of Wheeler to the basket through the contact. Flegel able to make it.
Wheeler got to be careful. A little moving screen there. He didn't get called on him, fortunately, but Flegel probably fouled there on that move, but nothing called.
Yeah, and on the other end, Indianola, Bryant Ritchie gets into the lane, rises up, knocks down the 7-footer. Indianola back up by 5, 42-37.
Right now, both teams overcoming what's in front of them defensively.
Flegel posting up, and he'll be fouled on the floor by number 2, Ritchie, his second of the quarter, second of the game, and the second on Indianola overall. Jacob Graham back into the game for Faust. Trey Steinkamp gets a breather with Devin Runner coming back on. Van Weingarten inbounds it to Runner. Runner has nothing there, and the ball swings over to Stoltz on the right wing to Runner. Back to Stoltz. Van Weingarten, right wing, three!
Oh, my, 3 for 3. Attaboy, Ben.
Ben didn't attempt a shot in the first half. He's now knocked down 3 triples in the second half, and Penley Christian back within 42-40. George Blake gets a wide open 3 on the other end, and he leaves it short.
It's a lot of credit to Ben. I mean, he's an athlete that really found his rhythm getting on the court by playing defense and now contributing in a big way against Indianola.
Yeah, Gilbert Flegel lost the basketball there. And then Van Weingarten will take that one away and force the turnover right back as DeWall not able to hang on to it.
A little smile on Ben's face. He's feeling good right now.
I think he might have gotten away with a little bit of a hold on that last one, too. That might have led to some of the smiling.
Now it feels like Ben could launch it from anywhere, and it's going to drop.
Yeah, Flagel in the post.
Over in the corner.
And the fadeaway shot by Flagel just falls off the front of the rim, no good. It was McGraw on the other end. He's looking to drive. Ball swings to Blake in the corner. Baseline drive, ball got poked away before Blake could get the shot off.
Tie it up here, take the lead.
Ben Van Wijngaarden three-pointer.
Oh, he wanted it.
Just a little too strong off back iron. I think the roof of this place would have come down and he knocked that one down.
Would have been an Indianola timeout after that.
Yeah, Van Wijngaarden playing super strong offensively. Ball goes into George Blake in the post. Blake through Flagel, lays it in. So 44-40, Indianola leads Pella Christian. 23 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Shot clock is off.
That it is. Stoltz dribbling out at the Eagles will go at half court.
This is where they usually try to set it up with Steinkamp, but him out of the game.
Yeah, runner to Stoltz. And Indianola
5 seconds.
Throws it into the backcourt. Stoltz launching from nearly half, or from just beyond half court. He hit the front of the rim. No good, and that's how the third quarter ends. Indianola 44, Pella Christian 40. Start of the fourth quarter when we return on KNIA, KRLS.com, and on the Pella Christian YouTube channel.
Did you know that the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays can be a dangerous time of year for dogs?
This is Dr. Glenda Van Wyk at Van Wyk Veterinary Clinic. If your dog is vomiting, in pain, and or lethargic, these could be signs of pancreatitis. To avoid pancreatitis, always feed your dog a balanced diet and avoid high-fat foods like table scraps.
If your dog shows any of these signs, call Van Wyk Veterinary Clinic for treatment options right away.
Protect your pet's health at Van Wyk Veterinary Clinic.
Quality, compassion, family.
At Pella Corporation, we're building brighter futures for our customers, team members, and communities. We foster an inclusive culture where unique perspectives are valued and contribute to our success. With opportunities for innovation, collaboration, and growth, Pella is more than a workplace. It's a place to belong and thrive. Join us and let's build brighter futures together, including your own. Because at Pella Corporation, we're building more than just windows and doors.
The new year often brings colder temperatures to Iowa, which means snow and ice. Even though we work hard to keep the lights on, sometimes Mother Nature has a plan in store. If your power goes out, please give us a call to let us know and then hang tight while we fix power lines. If there is a large storm, follow us on Facebook for power restoration updates. And remember to stay away from any down lines outside. Assume it's live and not safe. Looking out for you, we're Pella Cooperative Electric.
Welcome back here on KNIA, KRLS.com. Start of the fourth quarter inside the Element Siding and Windows radio broadcast booth. Pella Christian trails Indianola 44-40. The ball goes inside for Gilbert Flagel. Flagel powering up, fouled by George Blake.
Well, the way that first half went, what we asked for in that third quarter was let's see Pella Christian get some rhythm and get back in that game, and certainly they've done that. So.
Inbounds pass goes to Gilbert Flagel. He'll power up and in for 2 points. Flagel up to 16 as the Eagles back within 2, 44-42, 7.5 to go in the ball game. Easton McGraw setting up the Indianola offense out top. They'll go to Jackson Faust. Faust to Blake.
That was an extra step, I think, by Blake, but.
Yeah, Blake kicking corner three from McGraw. Left it short. Indianola saves it, but the Eagles with a chance to run in transition. As Ben Van Wijngaarden was looking for the three. Instead, he goes to Flagel. Flagel to the bucket.
Solid play there by Flagel. Under pressure, just a nice little touch shot, and we got this game even.
Yeah, Eagles fans rise into their feet here as Eagles play yet another close one this week.
They need to win this one.
Yeah, Blake to the corner for Faust, three, and Faust with a huge answer.
Goodness.
He has yet to miss tonight.
Goodness gracious.
He's got 14 points and buried every shot he's taken.
On a kid that scores 4.4 a game, so his 10 points are huge, above his average.
Yeah, it's 47-44. Pella Christian trailing. Ben Van Weingarten
Oh, he should have
drives,
stepped
kicks,
into it.
Flagel for 3. No good. Rebounded by McGraw.
Ben could have just stepped into that. He could have got to the free throw line for some free shots.
And he could. Blake to Faust. Blake, three-pointer from up top. Blake knocks down the 3, and Indianola's quickly blown lead back up to 6, 50-44. 5:50 to go, and Trey Steinkamp gets it across half court. Pella Motors timeout taken by the Eagles. It's going to be a full Pella Motors timeout, which gives us a chance to look at the Marion County Bank radio scoreboard. And we are really, really far ahead here tonight, Mike.
Of the other games?
Yeah, the other games.
Well, we've got an officiating crew that's letting the kids play. I mean, there's fouls called, but they're letting the game flow a bit, and the clocks has been running.
Yeah, I'm just noticing this here. Pella, Dallas Intergrams, we do not have a halftime score update yet. So they're still in the second quarter in Grimes. That score is 8-8 at the end of the first quarter in boys basketball. Norwalk is at halftime against Oskaloosa, leading 35-26. Knoxville boys hasn't started yet because they have their Panthers versus Cancer game tonight. So they have the big ceremony in between the games there with all the results from Panthers versus Cancer. Well, that's a look at the Marion County Bank radio scoreboard.
Well, I got to get up early in the morning, so I like this. We're on this schedule, so
I don't have to be up necessarily quite early in the morning, but I got another 2 games broadcast tomorrow with Central basketball against Wartburg. So, and then I don't have another game to broadcast until next Friday for homecoming. So, nice little reprieve here after a 5 broadcast week. But that's Marion County Bank radio scoreboard. In case you missed it, presented by the veterinarians at Tri-County Veterinary Clinic. Eagles have battled their way back from a 9-point halftime deficit. They tied it a minute ago, but Indianola's blown lead back up to 6. That's in case you missed it, presented by the veterinarians at Tri-County Veterinary Clinic in Pella.
They're the veterinarians.
Gilbert Flagel misses up a miss there.
Yeah, a little bit of a forced shot there. He wasn't quite in rhythm of what he was trying to do there.
Bengals Home Store and State Radio update. Pella 23, Dallas Intergrams 19 now at half. George Blake gets into the mid-range, pulls up and knocks down the shot. George Blake has Indianola's lead back up to 8, 52-44.
Blake's just got such great elevation when he takes that shot. He's so high up in the air with a high release. Hard to defend.
Yeah, Flagel fouled inside by Easton McGraw. First on McGraw, second on the team.
Might allow him to loosen up just a little bit on Flagels. Flagel can have a little room to work.
Yep, inbound goes to Griffin Stoltz, who's in the game for Devin Runner. Ben Van Weingarten to Garrett Wheeler, now Trey Steinkamp. Baseline drive by Steinkamp, and he gets bumped by Ritchie, who picks up his 3rd foul.
That'd be nice to get a guy or two with 4 fouls for Indianola, make them find some other options.
Yeah, game reset wired by Centerpoint Electric. Pella Christian 44, Indianola 52. 4:53 to go in the 4th quarter. Ritchie comes out of the game as Thomas DeWall back in. Van Weingarten able to get it into Runner. Runner baseline drive, tough take, no good. And then Runner commits the foul on the offensive board attempt.
Boy, after getting it tied, now we're on our heels again.
Yeah, as I say, the offense has gone dry. And Ritchie immediately back into the game for Thomas DeWall. So 52-44, Pella Christian trailing Indianola. It's the 3rd close game of the week for the Eagles. They beat Knoxville by 8 Monday. They fell on a last-second shot to Dallas Intergrams by 1 on Tuesday. Blake in the post, kicks it out. 3-pointer on the way. Jacob Graham knocks down the triple, and Pella Christian in trouble, down 55-44 with 4:20 to go in the game.
Man, Indianola's shooting well from behind the arch tonight.
Yeah, Steinkamp to the basket. And Steinkamp unable to get the runner to go. And Pella Christian absolutely has to have a stop on this possession if they want to have a chance, feels like, in this one. Easton McGraw to the basket, left it short, so there's the stop you had to have if you're the Eagles. Steinkamp in transition, gives it up. Runner, three-pointer, and Runner buries the triple. That was a much-needed basket. Gets it back to a single-digit game, 55-47. Pella Christian trails.
5-point swing there, making the stop, and then toilet bowl flushing that three.
Yeah, McGraw looking to drive on Van Weingarten. Kicks it out to Blake. Now Ritchie. Ritchie drives on Steinkamp, and Ritchie scores again, and Indianola back up by 10. Van Weingarten gives it up.
He's got springs in his step.
Yeah, Van Weingarten's pass to Flegel is kicked. And say Coach Evelyn was disappointed there because Van Weingarten gave the pump fake. George Blake jumped right away. Ebling yelled, "Stay down." Van Weingarten got the ball back, pumping to get him. Blake jumped again. He's like, "I just told you that." Flegel to the basket and fouled by Easton McGraw on the ensuing inbounds pass. Is going to be the second on McGraw and the fourth on Indianola as a team. So Ritchie about to come back in for Thomas DeWall, who came in. So they run a little offense-defense. Flegel rims out the first free throw. It almost just feels like just maybe a mental thing right now. It's just like one or the other. Just can't get them both to go in the same trip.
Could be averaging 5 points a game more just by hitting those free throws.
Well, this time you missed them both. And you had to have those if you're
that's where we
Pella Christian.
needed the and one option. Get it back to 7.
Yeah, Blake drives to the basket, tough finish. Blake gets his to drop. His Runner is whistled for the foul. It's the third on Runner.
It's an Indianola group that had several of these guys were starters as freshmen.
Yeah, Stoltz checks back into the game here for Runner. Who just picked up foul number 3. And Blake.
That's what we needed.
Or a 3-point play. So 60-47, Pella Christian trails. Bengals Home Store Instant Radio update. Knoxville boys basketball 24, Clark 2 at the end of the first quarter. Steinkamp finds Griffin Stoltz for the right corner 3.
Stop ball.
Too long for Stoltz. Indianola, I would imagine, going to be content to burn some clock with a 13-point lead and just 2.5 to play in the game. McGraw drives to the basket. Eagles give up the board. Blake with the offensive board. And he goes up and gets another chance at an and one. As Ben Van Weingarten picked up his third, team's third. And it's a Pella Motors timeout taken here by Joe Steinkamp. And Mike, it just kind of feels like the Eagles have run out of gas here. I mean, we talk about it Monday, high energy game here against Knoxville. Tuesday, game that literally goes down to the final seconds against Dallas Center Grimes. Here tonight, you build a 9-point deficit in the first half. Second half, you come out on fire, firing on all cylinders, but it just feels like as of late, the Eagles' energy level has just kind of dwindled here in this one. And, you know, I have no doubt that I have no doubt that this team's not going to make excuses, but just watching them, it just doesn't feel like they had the same energy they did even in the last quarter.
Yeah, I mean, they got it back to 44s, but this 18-3 run is a little bit unexpected when they just battled their way back into it. And, yeah, I love what they're doing. I mean, over the course of this season, they've certainly competed very well against everybody they've played. But you can't have little lapses like this. And you're right. Some of that could certainly be 3 games in a week against 3 tough opponents and trying to have the legs and the energy to do it. But
Oh, not even just 3 like games in the energy. I mean, 3 games where it was like every possession mattered. I mean, physically, you know, that's a lot to handle here in a week where, I mean, you talk about it, Knoxville was an 8-point game, but that was salting that away with free throws in the final 2 minutes. I mean, that was a 1-point game with 2 minutes to go. Dallas City Grimes, you fall on a shot with 10 seconds left. Is Blake off the mark on the first free throw, or on the lone free throw, I should say. Steinkamp to Flegel. And Flegel got fouled by Thomas DeWall, I believe that was. It was DeWall, his first. Team's 5th, so Flegel back to the line. Flegel makes that one. 62-48. Bryant Ritchie back into the game for Thomas DeWall. And Flegel knocks them both down. There we go.
All right, we're doing full court press here, so.
Now ball finds its way into the hands of George Blake.
Always improving as a team, right? So Pella Christian switching up what they're doing to put more pressure on.
Coach Ebling was trying to call a timeout for Indianola. Pella Christian wanted to travel. Instead, they call foul on Garrett Wheeler. Not sure how they got that one, but. So Faust to inbound. And Van Weingarten is whistled for a hold there. It's going to be the 4th on Van Weingarten and the 5th on the team. So Easton McGraw going to go to the free throw line here.
Some would say 12 points down. Why press? Why foul? But these are situational things where you're trying to teach. You get into games late where you're down 3 or 4 and you need to press or you need to trap or whatever. These are teaching moments in games against, you know, a talented athletic team.
And still with 2:10 to play, I mean, you never know, something, you know, you might get a nice little run here.
True.
In the game, so not giving
with
it up.
Anytime you got a 3-point line involved, you can score in buckets, but.
Steinkamp gonna try a fadeaway 3 from the right wing. It's gonna be off the mark. That one's probably the one that does that was in there.
That was a travel.
Easton McGraw got away with a carry. Coach Steinkamp can't believe it either. And he just got a technical because of a missed call by the official. So Indianola going to go to the free throw line. Coach Steinkamp, I think, will live with that one at this point because it's not going to cost his guys anything at this point. But you can't, as an official, when you got a team that's trying, still competing and trying, you can't miss that call.
Basically, he's calling it for walking on the floor.
Yeah, which, I mean, he did. Faust knocks down the free throw. I mean, Steinkamp, but like I said, I think he'll live with that one, but, you know, I mean, that's a, when your team is still trying to make that effort and trying to stay close, officials got to stay involved in the game too. So that's all he's asking for there.
Yeah,
with McGraw getting away with the
it was an obvious
most
carry,
blatant carry
for sure,
we've seen all year.
Yeah.
So now Indianola to inbound. They'll get it into Ritchie. And Indianola loses it out of bounds. So now Blake and DeWall back in for Ritchie and Naylor. Corner to Van Weingarten. Van Weingarten to the basket. His shot no good. And rebounded by Indianola. And Easton McGraw picked up his dribble and calls a timeout. As the Eagles still applying the pressure here. Pella Motors timeout. Pella Christian gonna wave the white flag here in the final minute 23 as they're gonna empty the bench here. So on the court it's gonna be Connor Knipper, Levi Franzman, Tyson Vanderlinden, Gavin Olferts, and Joshua Renz that have come into the game here for the Eagles. Bengals home store instant radio update. Norwalk 52, Oskaloosa 41 after the third quarter. Our score is still 66-49 with a minute 23 to go in the fourth. Inside the Element Siding and Windows radio broadcast booth, Tyler Crabb, Mike Bouquet here with you for all of tonight's action. Let's get Pingle's home store instant radio update for some Pella Christian Bowling 2. Pella Christian Bowling team defeats Centerville today, 1890 to 1698. So the Eagles have won back-to-back matches for the boys. The girls squad, they fell 1803 to 1425. Pingle's home store instant radio updates.
And who was the top bowler for Pella Christian?
Let's see here. What we got for the girls? Girls' top bowler was Macy Vanderhart at 208, and then Annabelle Carter at 202. Top bowler for the Pella Christian boys, Andrew Van Cote at 334.
There we go. Good job, Andrew.
Easton McGraw to the basket. His shot no good. George Blake on the follow. His follow no good. Easton McGraw down with another board.
Man.
And then who hit that one? I missed it. Richie.
Two.
There we go. Richie hits
Richie. Yep.
Was that a 2 or 3?
Now they take the starters out.
Yeah, I don't think they saw that Pella Christian did that before the timeout there. So they got them all out. George Blake with a nosebleed.
25-4 run, or 5 run.
So I can't tell if that was a 2 or a 3, and then Pella Christian throws it away. And one of the Indianola guys into the game wants to get his shot up here. And able to get it to go is Isaac Erickson. So 20 seconds to play. We'll figure out if Connor Knipper going to try a 3 from the right wing. That one's going to be off. Naylor's going to grab the board. And Indianola will walk it up the floor, and your final score is going to be Indianola 71, Pella Christian 49. Indians outscoring the Eagles in the final quarter, 27-9.
Wow.
That's the difference in tonight's ball game. We'll go ahead and take a timeout. We'll be back on KNIAKRLS.com with the Scooters Coffee Radio postgame show after this.
Here, but your roof still needs the best. At Dutch Mill Supply, they offer top quality CertainTeed shingles to keep your home protected all season long. Durable, reliable, and designed for winter weather, CertainTeed shingles ensure your roof stands strong against snow, ice, and wind.
Dutch Mill Supply, located in Pella, is your only locally owned, one-stop, full-service lumberyard and building material supplier. My name is Joshua Payne. My staff and I are here daily for professional service from the guy next door.
Hi, this is Levi Spain with Spain Painting in Pella, and I'm in the process of putting together our team for 2026. We have a lot of work on the books for the spring, summer, and fall, and I'm looking for good people who want to work hard and take pride in what they do. We have high standards at Spain Painting, and our customers expect high-quality results. If that's you, I'd love to talk to you about joining our team. Visit spain-painting.com and find my info on the contact page. Spain Painting in Pella. Experience, quality, results.
Ben Hampton.
Hi, Hi, I think our furnace went out. It's freezing in our house. I'm not even sure what kind of furnace we have, but I really need you to come fix it.
Okay, don't worry, ma'am. We'll send one of the big trucks.
Van Haften Plumbing and Heating's fleet of big trucks rolling around the Marion County area don't just look cool. These big trucks are well stocked with extra parts and supplies to get the job done quicker so that your house can warm up quicker. It's another reason you'll rest easy when you pick up the phone and hear
Van Haften.
Knoxville Hospital and Clinics shares that according to national health data, arthritis affects more than 50 million adults in the United States. Rheumatology is a medical specialty that focuses on joint pain, inflammation, and autoimmune conditions that can affect the muscles and connective tissues. It also examines patterns of swelling, stiffness, and immune activity that may contribute to long-term joint concerns. This information is provided as part of Knoxville Hospital and Clinic's general health education efforts. More information is available at knoxvillehospital.org.
At Element Siding and Windows, we do it right the first time. Hi, I'm Andrew Thomason, owner of Element. We're locally owned and proud to have the same dedicated team on every project, the same faces you'll see from start to finish, no random subcontractors. We don't leave your project until it is complete and you are completely satisfied. Your details and your budget matter to us, and we'll work with you to bring your vision to life. You have a dream, we'll make it happen. Find us on Facebook at Element Siding and Windows.
A warning to moms of class of 27 senior boys. They aren't going to be thrilled when you ask about senior pictures. Common responses are, ugh, fine, whatever. I know, I'm one of those moms myself. I'm Michelle Gritters with Lux Photography, and my senior photo sessions are different. They're easy and relaxed, and I seem to have a knack for bringing out real smiles, even in the grumpiest of teens. And the best part is that it ends up being a really special day for you and your son. So if you've got a class of 27 senior boys, schedule a session at michellegritters.com. Most guys end up actually enjoying it.
You gave your kids a new puppy or kitten for Christmas. Let's make sure we take care of him. This is Dr. Tim Yoder with Tri-County Veterinary Clinic in Pella, and we have a new puppy and kitten program that provides the attention they need. It involves physical exams, vaccinations, diets, and most importantly, information for you, so that you can provide the best care for your new family member. Schedule your new puppy or kitten visit by calling Tri-County Veterinary Clinic in Pella.
They're the veterinarians.
Yes, we are. We're the veterinarians.
They take care of pets because they love them.
Local is our heartbeat. Since 1935, Marion County Bank has backed local businesses with real relationships and real solutions. We've helped our neighbors buy their first or forever homes and delivered practical banking options that fit your story every step of the way. We invite you to celebrate local and bank local. Come see us today. Marion County Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Hi, this is Allie, owner of Thistle's Flower Market. Whether you're planning a wedding, hosting an event, or looking to brighten someone's day, let us help you make it unforgettable. From stunning wedding florals to everyday gift deliveries, we're here to bring joy and beauty to your special moments. Located in downtown Pella, Thistle's has been serving our community for almost 40 years. Thistle's Flower Market, making every moment unforgettable.
If you've been holding out on starting the search for your next home, your patience might have just paid off. Hi, this is John Holterhouse with Pella Real Estate Services, and right now is a great time to buy. We're seeing increased inventory in all price ranges, and interest rates are becoming more favorable. Schedule a buyer consultation so that we can start looking for your next home by calling 628-1-BUY and visiting with me or any member of our team at Pella Real Estate Services.
Masters of Metal, Forces of the Forge, Artists of the Arc, Titans with a Torch. Vermeer is hiring weld warriors, and they want you. It takes all skill types to build Vermeer iron. Bring your strength. Bring your spark. Join a team that builds tough equipment and backs each other up. Second and third shift welding positions are open now. Come where the sparks fly. Visit VermeerJobs.com or text 641-900-6178.
Welcome back here to the Scooters Coffee Radio post-game show. Scooters Coffee and Pella, amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Indianola 71, Pella Christian 49. Final score tonight is the Eagles outscored in the fourth quarter 27-9. That's the obviously the difference in this one is Indianola able to get the win, and Mike, McKay Group Radio key play and player of the game. The key play, I think, I hate to go general twice in a row, but I think we have to go with the fourth quarter there. I mean, that's the difference in the game. Pella Christian expended a lot of energy in that third quarter, making the comeback, and almost felt like they ran themselves a little too thin, and Indianola taking advantage in the fourth quarter and just able to get just about anything they wanted.
Well, they started the first half, down 29-20 at half, and they were battling for everything they could get, and the rim was not kind to us in that first half. But give them credit in the third quarter and starting into the fourth, they got it back, close to being tied right away. Starting the third quarter, but then to get it tied into the start of the fourth quarter there, 44-44 was huge. But that fourth quarter ultimately was the difference in the game. But I don't know. This is a team that's stayed connected, and Coach Steinkamp's got them playing a style of play that they like. And we never like to talk about how schools we play like this are got 1,000 more students in their high school than what we do, but I'm not trying to take anything away from their kids or our kids when I say that, but just a larger pool of kids to pull from and a little more depth on the bench. And but our kids are battling. We've got some really good players and great coaching staff, and just ultimately this was a game they were in and competing well going into the start of the fourth quarter. So gotta feel good about that. But ended up the week 1-2 on the boys' side. Got Knoxville, but lost to DCG and Indianola. Probably start of the week, you're probably not going to be surprised at that necessarily. So you like how you played all three games and how they competed.
Absolutely. And then our McKay Group Radio key player of the game, Ben Van Weyengard.
Yeah, those three consecutive threes were part of that stretch where Indianola was hitting threes and buckets at the same time. So he kept us in it enough to get tied. So those were he wasn't getting us any points first half. So when he came out and started hitting those, that was a little bit more of a spark coming from somebody different, and it opened things up a little bit more.
Yeah, and I was trying to decide between him and Trey. I thought they both played some solid minutes there, but Ben gets the nod for the McKay Group Radio key play and player of the game there. Tonight's final stats presented by the Verdeft Agency as Joe Steinkamp makes his way up here. For Pella Christian, Gilbert Flagel finishes at 20, Trey Steinkamp with 10, Ben Van Weingarten with 9, Devin Runner and Garrett Wheeler with 5 apiece. For Indianola, 20 points for George Blake, 12 for Easton McGraw, Bryant Ritchie, Jackson Faust off the bench with 16, 6 for Jacob Graham, 3 for Wesley Naylor, and 2 for Isaac Erickson. That is tonight's final stats presented by the Verdeft Agency. Our key play and player of the game is brought to you by McKay Group, Auto, Home, Business, Commercial, Life, Health, and Health Insurance, covering you in Knoxville and Oskaloosa. Your final stats presented by the Verdeft Agency, and let Chad, Lancer, and Larry examine your stats, customize an insurance plan for you. The Verdeft Agency providing complete courteous service to the Pella area for nearly 100 years. With our continuing coverage of Iowa high school athletics, we're joined now by head coach of the Pella Christian basketball team, Joe Steinkamp, powered by Hy-Vee, following a 71-49 loss to Indianola here on Friday night. And Coach, a really tough week for this group, a lot of hard physical contests, and ultimately it felt like down the stretch there, third quarter, guys made a really big run. It felt like the fourth quarter, maybe the gas just kind of ran out a little bit for this team.
Yeah, going 1-2 makes it a tough week, but I think it was a good week for us. I feel like the DCG game, we played well and played good enough to win. And even tonight, I think the score was tied 44-44 halfway through the third quarter. I think our offense is kind of evolving, and we're finding new ways to score. I thought Indianola just played a great second half and just really shot the ball really well. They had some guys that were, everybody on their team is a good shooter, but they had some guys that weren't averaging a ton of points that really stepped off when we kind of played a little bit off them to help on their studs, and they made us pay. So Indianola played a great game. We played pretty good for about 2.5 quarters. But it was a good week, even though we had that 1-2 record. I'm pretty happy about how our guys are fighting and how much better we're getting.
Absolutely, and one thing I know you know as a coach too is just, it's hard to go undefeated every single year, right? And at this point, that's not something you were necessarily worried about. So the wins and the losses, sometimes they're going to come, but within this group, I mean, we talk about it. Knoxville, 8-point game. Dallas Center Grimes comes down to the final seconds tonight, and I know the final score is going to look a lot more deceiving of not showing how close this game was, but as you alluded to, tied midway through the third quarter. As a group, what do you kind of learn about yourselves knowing that not only did you play 3 games in a week, but you played three really high-quality opponents like that, and just what can you kind of build from off of those types of contests?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is our senior leadership. The guys aren't getting discouraged, so the losses, they want to win. They're competitive guys, and they're mad about it, but they're not discouraged. So I think, the Knoxville game was really big, the fact that they beat us last year and we were able to get that one. And the DCG game, I really think just gave us a lot of confidence. I think our guys really saw like, yeah, we think we might be pretty good. And then that game was just like, yeah, we can really have big games and that kind of thing. So, and then tonight for a big part of the game, we thought we played well too. So, we want to be able to beat these good teams. I think that's kind of the next step for us, to beat one of these, 3A, 4A powers that we have in our league. And we got a lot in this conference. We have a lot of opportunities to try to do that. So, we have a non-conference game, which we haven't had in a while, so it'll be good to go against a different style on Tuesday. And then we have homecoming week this week, which is a really fun week for our students. And back with a rivalry game against Oskaloosa, who got us in overtime the first time. So should be just a fun week for our program. And I know our guys are just really excited to keep going.
Well, just kind of to your point there, you got that little hockey conference one. We're going to come back and touch on that one in just a little bit with Oskaloosa. But got to touch, too, because the other thing that's really big about this week is, unfortunately, after the break, Caleb Volk unavailable for this team, and he was a big part of that top rotation. And, there wasn't kind of a natural fit to just slide in and take that 7th spot in the rotation. So you've asked 6 guys to really step up, play even more minutes, than maybe they were used to or what they were expecting to this season. And, they're getting a lot of run, and especially in games like tonight, the fact that it's close, you're not necessarily one way or the other. Teams aren't necessarily emptying benches or anything like that. How big is that just to continue to get these guys minutes together and to build that chemistry as you get deeper and deeper into the season, trying to build for reaching that peak in February and March?
Yeah, I think it is a little bit unusual. I think the fact that they're all kind of versatile players, you can kind of just sub them all, so they can all play, about 28 to 30 minutes, where you're not, with all the quarter breaks, as long as you don't have foul trouble, you don't get, I don't think, too worn down. We could potentially add a 7th guy to our rotation if we have some guys step up and keep proving themselves. But I think, our guys are in good shape. They're all really good players. They're all guys, all 6 of those guys that play never really want to take off the floor to begin with. So I think they are gaining chemistry. We still got some work to do and some things that we need to look at. But I'm pretty pleased with how we're kind of progressing and how we're growing.
And we look at this matchup, as we're talking to Joe Steinkamp, obviously this is a tough one, but now you get to kind of transition, focus on Fairfield here a little bit. What's kind of the thoughts is, you guys get a couple days to maybe recruit a little bit from a big week here of a lot of highly competitive games and a chance to go and as you mentioned earlier, just getting to see kind of a fresh opponent that, it is not a little hockey conference school.
Yeah, we haven't started our prep for them yet. I know early in the year when we played Oski, I watched that game from early, and I know they have some good athleticism and some good size too. So we'll have to get ourselves really ready to play, on Monday and have a great, practice prep and shoot around going into that. It'll be fun to go on the road. It was great to be at home this week, but it is also fun to travel with these guys and keep building that team camaraderie. And we're just excited for, the homecoming week too. Just a lot of fun activities for the kids during during the school week, and just more ways for us to kind of bond as a team.
Absolutely. I want to talk on that point right there because you mentioned it's homecoming week. You got 2 games, and obviously you want everyone to have fun during homecoming week, right? But what's been kind of the message to the guys is you prepare for the homecoming matchup here and just making sure that they have fun, but they're also maybe smart about having that fun as well.
Yeah, we're just we'll take it one day at a time. We're giving the guys the weekend off. We haven't had a weekend off in a long time, so it'll be a good time to kind of refresh. This was a pretty grueling week. And we'll just talk about the balance. And the nice thing about these guys, and when you have 4 seniors that are that locked in, they're mature kids, and everybody wants to win, and everybody I think has the same goals. So I'm not worried about it, and I think that's just part of being a high school student too, being a part of homecoming week, those memories. Basketball is obviously really important to us and me and them. But we also want them to be kids and have a great experience and experience homecoming and the alums and everything that comes with that week.
And I could imagine the answer to this, so I'm going to take it off the board. So besides the basketball game Friday night next week, first time coaching homecoming here, I probably have guessed your entire career of coaching here. What is the thing you're most looking forward to beyond the game about just the excitement of that homecoming, festivities and week?
Yeah, I think I'm most excited for the game on Friday. I know from last year the place was rocking. We have such great support here at Pella Christian. We'll have a lot of alumni back. Just the students really get into it with all the different activities they have. So just excited. We had a great crowd tonight, and it'll be even better playing Oski next week. So just excited for the game, excited for our guys to play in gyms like this. We told the guys after we played Pella that we have to be better in playing in front of these big crowds, because that's what we're going to have to do if we want to make a state tournament run. So just having our guys feel that, and it's also fun as a coach to be involved in those big games too, and seeing the emotion and just the guys smiling and having fun with the crowd and playing for their students and their school. It's what sports is all about. So just excited for the week and excited for the guys.
Absolutely. Coach, thank you. Appreciate the time as always. Wish you the best of luck on Tuesday at Fairfield, and look forward to seeing you again on Friday night here against Oskaloosa.
Thanks, Tyler.
Absolutely. That was Joe Steinkamp, head coach of the Pella Christian boys basketball team, following a 71-49 loss to Indianola on Friday night. Time to go in closing, presented by Layton State Bank. Grow strong with us. Pella Christian battling on hard tonight in the doubleheader against Indianola, but unfortunately falling in both ends. Girls falling 42-28, boys falling 71-49. And that is In Closing, presented by Layton State Bank. Grow strong with us. Scooters Coffee Radio postgame shows brought to you by Scooters Coffee and Pella. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Sending it back to Alex Benjamin in the studio. Thanks for tuning in to Pella Christian Basketball here on the KRLS2 stream and on the Pella Christian YouTube channel.